Hi participants, welcome to week 4, lesson 1 of online teaching and learning for school teachers. This video is going to show you how to create a Google Classroom. I hope you learned about the different learning management systems in your week 1, especially lesson 5. I want you to pause this video now and go back to week 1, lesson 5, and check the learning management systems, and also check which one you said you like the most, which you also talked about in the forum of my best learning management platform or learning management system. As you pause this video, I will be sharing my screen to show you how to create a Google Classroom. Welcome back. I hope you went into your week 1, lesson 5. You reminded yourself about learning management systems. So the one that we selected for this video is the Google Classroom. Let me show you how you create a Google Classroom. Firstly, you go into Google, the web browser Google. When you are there, in the search button, you are going to search for Google Classroom. You just type Google Classroom and Google Classroom will appear. You click on it. Then you are going to get the list of Google Classrooms. You can just choose the first one, Google Classroom. When you see my page, it has got different classrooms which I created. If you never created any classroom, your page will not be the same as mine. However, if you created a classroom before, your class will be like mine, but with the names of your own classrooms. These are the names of the classrooms I created. So we are going to start creating. When we create, you look on the top right, there is a button which has got a plus sign. You click on it. When you point at it, it says join class or create class. What we want to do now is to create class. We click create, and then there's a message that pops up. Please read this message carefully. And before you click the checkbox, before you check the checkbox that said, I have read and understand the above notice and I'm not using classroom at a school with students. So you need to check out and continue. Then you need to give your classroom a name. Because I don't want to confuse some of you, when we were in the orientation workshop, some were confused when I give examples of specific classrooms. They thought maybe this course is for specific phase or specific grade. So I'm just going to say your class, you can call it maybe mathematics classroom. I'm going to call this one mathematics classroom. So now that our classroom have got a name, you are welcome also to can give a section. If, for example, it's mathematics classroom, I can specify which section of mathematics I'm going to teach, but that is optional. And even put a subject. If my classroom was a grade or a phase, then I can now put the subject. In certain schools, they've got, their classes have got room numbers. You can put your room number, but all these are optional. As long as you put the name of your classroom, you click create. Then now we are creating our classroom. Let's see what happens after we clicked create. The system is busy creating our classroom. Voila, our classroom is created. There it is, mathematics classroom. Then this is how your classroom will be. When you look underneath the name of your classroom, you'll see a class code. This class code you can use to invite your students or your learners. And also if you are teaching a subject with other teachers, you can invite them as teachers in your classroom. Then what you do, you can copy this code and then you give it to the people that you want to invite. It's easier when you invite people using your class code. You just tell them that when they go into Google Classroom, you remember the first page when I clicked on the plus sign, you saw two options, join or create classroom. Then when you have the code, you click on join, then you join the classroom. But when you don't want to join, you create. So another way to invite your students or your other teachers, you go to the button people. We have 4 buttons on top here. These are the buttons that you'll be using. The stream is where we are right now. This is where you can type announcements. Everything that you do in the class will be shown on the announcement. And these announcements, they get into the emails of your students or your learners. They will be able to know what the teacher is informing them or what the teacher has done. If you created an assessment, they will be notified. And then the button that says classwork, this is where you'll be creating your teaching, learning, and assessment activities. We are going to come to this tab when we are on week 4, lesson 2. But now we are on week 4, lesson 1. We're still focusing on setting up the classroom. Then this button of people, this is what we're going to use to invite your students or your learners to the classroom. Then the grades, this is where you're going to be marking the assessments of your learners. So let's get to people tab and see how do we invite or how do we create our class list. So there I am as a teacher because I created this classroom. You are also going to see your name there after you created this classroom. Then if you want to add another teacher who's going to be helping you, you are going to click on this button. When you point at it, it says invite teachers. And then now when you want to add your learners, you're going to go to the student button and then you click on the button that says invite students. When you click on it, it will ask you to type a name or email. My advice is you rather type an email because you only type a name if you already have the list of your learners in your system. But if you do not have them, type an email address. So this can be a long way because it will require you to communicate with the parents or even your learners to give you their email addresses. I think you remember when you joined this course, I sent you a form wherein you had to type your email addresses and your names. You will have to do the same, sending your learners a form to complete so that you acquire all the necessary information you need to be able to enroll them to your class. Once you type the email address of your students, and after you typed the full email address, the tab invite will become active. Before I typed the email address, the tab was inactive. But when you start typing the email address, then it becomes active and then you can invite. When you click invite, the person you are inviting will receive an email that invites him or her to your classroom, and is the responsibility of that person to accept or to decline. But because they are your learners, you would have communicated to them that you are going to enroll them into your class. They are going to accept, and then you will have the list of your learners in the class. I'm just going to show you another class which I already created that has got students in it. I'm going to show you. This is my master's and doctoral students class. When I click on people, you can see that they are students and they are teachers in the classroom. So your classroom will look like this after you have created it and enrolled your teachers and your learners in it. This is how it will look like. I hope this is going to help you a great deal, because now you knew how to create a classroom and also how to invite your learners into your classroom. I want to wish you all the best, and then we are going to meet again on week 4, lesson 2. Have a good journey in the course. We are approaching the end. Thank you and goodbye for now.